Ridiculous Reviews, and we're going to be reviewing the Galaxy Core Prime. And I went out and got this phone. I just needed a temporary phone to just kind of get me through. I actually wanted the Avant, which was a lot more powerful, and I'll get into the specs in just a second, but I have to tell you that I was actually highly disappointed with this phone. I mean, it's caused just a lot of glitches. There's a lot of things you can't do. I want to really kind of get into it and show you some of the issues with it. It is, you know, upgradable. I mean, that with the SIM card up to 64 gigabytes, which I have an 8 gigabyte card in it right now, and I really don't feel like upgrading because honestly, it's not even worth it to put in here. And I just had it hanging around. So my other phone, I was pretty much, pretty much dead, and for whatever reasons I needed to, I grabbed something, just, cheap and convenient. And but it happened not to be cheap and convenient. It's actually, I'd have to say, a piece of shit. Honestly, I didn't like it at all. So what I'm going to do is get you a little close-up on this, show you some of the stuff that's going on with it, and then that way you can make an informed decision about buying, if you really want one, and, whatever, issues or whatever considerations you might be having, to purchase a new phone, because there's quite a few on the market. I had an Alcatel too prior to this phone, and it actually didn't have a lot of internal memory, but I guess the RAM was a lot higher because it actually did much better than this this phone here. It's absolutely driving me goddamn crazy. I'm going to show you a few more details about this phone, and let's get to it. All right, here we are. I have the phone here. I shut it off to kind of give you an idea how long this thing boots up. It's actually quite slow, so let me go ahead and turn this thing on and just give you a second here. It is a Metro. It is 4G. It's running Jelly Bean. It has a dual core, 1.2 gigahertz. It's running 1 gigabyte of RAM. Now they say it's 6 hours to charge. I've seen it's more like 8 or 9 hours, and they're saying up to I think something like 16 hours of talk time, which is just a pile of shit. I mean, I have this thing running, and if I'm really working it hard, I mean, I can blow through the battery in about 4 hours. All right, there we are, and there's the screen. It's, the 4.5 inch, so, I mean, it's all right. I prefer the 5-inch phones. I find them just to be just a little smaller than what I like. As you can see, I'm loading YouTube. It took a few seconds there. Now, I'm going to jump out of that, and I'm going to... All right, that was not what I wanted to do. And sometimes it has kind of a mind of its own. I don't know why. I won't even push a button, and it will just go ahead and do pretty much what it wants to. So it kind of has a mind of its own. All right, so now we'll go and let me see. Even just going here, let's say we're going to go Google search. Now I hit the button. Now it's running right now. Chock full of nuts. So, I mean, there is a real delay on this phone, and especially, let's say I got that going. Now we're going to run into something more. We'll go ahead and hit my Vine here, and we'll try to get that running. I mean, but there's just, I mean, between everything, just trying to have it load, I mean, it just takes forever, as you can see. It absolutely drives me crazy. Now when I go ahead and just say I have a few things running here, I'm going to jump into Maps, all right? Let's see, here we are. Now, if you're going down the road and you have just your Google Maps going, if you want to go ahead and play your, if you want to play any music, so if you have Google Maps running and you want to play your music at the same time, it actually glitches out. It's it actually unbelievable how bad it is. So, I mean, that's the one thing that's really a negative about this phone, is that when you're trying to play music and, basically make it to a destination, which most people, listen to music as they're, riding to their destination. I mean, I'd say probably a majority of people. Otherwise, you're pretty much a lame ass. All right, there we go. Now I pulled it up. We have this going, and now I'm going to go back into my maps here and try to find a destination here. Let's see. We're just going to pull up a default destination. Let's see here. I have new followers. Hey, look, I'm cool. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it on this phone. All right, so now you've seen basically what the phone, is all about. It's really slow. I actually got the phone for about 80 bucks after everything was all said and done. Like I said, I wanted to go for a mid-grade phone, but they didn't have anything. They actually stopped producing the Avant, which was, you know, right in the middle. It had, it was 16 gigabytes. Yeah, okay, perfect. Someone wants to call me. But anyway, great ringtone. I mean, it's, yeah, awesome. Would I recommend this phone to anybody? Absolutely not. I went for the Avant. Now, the Avant was a bit more powerful. It had 16 gigabytes of internal memory. You know, it was upgradable to, with the SD card, 64 gigabytes. Now, it had a gigabyte and a half of RAM. And that's imagine what's the problem with this phone is the RAM is just, I mean, it's drop bottom. I mean, you don't get much lower than that. Now, besides, you know, the performance issues, does it work? Yeah, if you're using it just for a phone, but for as a smartphone, I mean, I'm gonna give it a number 2 on the shit-o-meter.
An elegant weapon for a more civilized age.